The Sixth Sense of Cats, A Tale of Mystery and Survival. Chapter 1, The Unseen Warning. Emma had always been a cat person. She lived in a small, cozy house on the outskirts of Maplewood, a quiet town surrounded by dense forests. Her cat, Luna, was her constant companion, a sleek black feline with piercing green eyes that seemed to see beyond the ordinary. Luna had always been an affectionate yet mysterious creature. Unlike other cats, she didn't just react to sounds or movement. She seemed to sense things before they happened. When a storm was about to break, she would curl up under the couch hours before the first raindrop fell. When an unexpected visitor was about to knock on the door, Luna would sit by the entrance, staring intently, long before any footsteps were heard. One evening, as Emma was preparing dinner, she noticed Luna behaving strangely. The cat sat upright on the kitchen counter, her fur bristling, ears perked up as if listening to something inaudible. Then, without warning, she leaped down and bolted into the living room, hiding under the sofa. Emma frowned. "Luna, what's wrong, girl?" The cat didn't respond. Instead, she let out a low, guttural growl, something Emma had never heard from her before. A chill ran down her spine. She glanced around but saw nothing unusual. Yet, an eerie sensation settled over her, as if unseen eyes were watching her. Chapter 2, The Whispering Woods. That night, Emma found it hard to sleep. Luna refused to leave her side, curling up near her feet but remaining restless. Every now and then, the cat's ears would twitch, and she would lift her head, staring at the darkness beyond the bedroom door. The following morning, Emma's neighbor, Mrs. Cartwright, came by with a worried expression. "Did you hear about Mr. Dawson?" she asked. Emma shook her head. "No, what happened?" Mrs. Cartwright leaned in. "He went missing last night. They found his car abandoned near the woods. No sign of him anywhere." A cold shiver ran through Emma. The woods were dense and mysterious, and people rarely ventured there after dark. That evening, as she sat on the couch with Luna in her lap, she noticed her cat staring at the window, utterly still. Emma followed her gaze but saw nothing. Then Luna hissed. Emma's heartbeat quickened. She stood up, slowly approaching the window. The backyard was empty, but something felt off. Luna's tail flicked aggressively, her body tense. Emma decided to check outside. Grabbing a flashlight, she stepped onto the porch. The night air was crisp, and the woods loomed like a shadowy giant in the distance. As she swept the flashlight across the yard, something moved at the edge of the trees. A figure. She gasped, her breath hitching. But when she blinked, it was gone. Chapter 3, The Warning Signs. Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Over the next few days, Luna's behavior grew even more erratic. She would paw at the front door, as if trying to keep something out. She would stare at the ceiling, tracking something unseen. One night, Emma woke to Luna standing on her chest, staring intently at her face. The cat's eyes glowed eerily in the moonlight, and she let out a soft, urgent meow. "What is it, Luna?" Emma whispered. The cat jumped off the bed and padded toward the window. Curious, Emma followed. As she peered outside, she saw something that made her blood run cold. Footprints. They led from the woods to her porch. But there was no sign of anyone. A deep sense of dread settled over her. Luna let out another growl, her tail puffed up in alarm. Someone, or something, had been watching her. Chapter 4, The Vanishing Stranger. The next morning, Emma called the local sheriff, Tom Harding. He was a no-nonsense man who had been in law enforcement for over 2 decades. After hearing her concerns, he agreed to check the area. "I'll take a look around," he assured her. As he walked toward the woods, Luna sat on the porch, watching intently. Emma noticed the cat's ears twitching, as if picking up sounds no human could hear. Sheriff Harding disappeared into the trees, and for a few minutes, there was only silence. Then, a sudden rustling. He emerged, his face pale. "Emma, I think you need to see this." Reluctantly, she followed him into the woods. They stopped near a clearing where the ground was disturbed. A shallow pit had been dug, as if someone had been trying to bury something. Emma's breath caught when she saw what lay beside it. A torn jacket. Mr. Dawson's jacket. Sheriff Harding radioed for backup. As they waited, Emma glanced at Luna, who had followed them despite her usual reluctance to enter the forest. The cat sat still, her gaze fixed on the trees. Then, she arched her back and hissed. Sheriff Harding turned, his hand resting on his gun. "What is it?" A branch snapped. Emma's pulse pounded. The forest, which had seemed empty moments ago, now felt suffocatingly full of unseen presence. And then, they saw it. A shadow, shifting unnaturally between the trees. Chapter 5, The Unspoken Truth. The police launched a full investigation. Mr. Dawson's body was never found, but signs of a struggle indicated that something terrible had happened. The town was abuzz with speculation. Some said it was a wild animal attack. Others whispered about the old legends of the forest, stories of things that lurked beyond human understanding. Emma knew one thing for certain. Luna had sensed it before anyone else. Whatever had taken Mr. Dawson, whatever had stood outside her window that night, was not human. And it was still out there. As days passed, Luna gradually returned to her usual self. But Emma never ignored her cat's warnings again. When Luna stared at a shadow too long, Emma made sure to stay away. When Luna refused to go outside, Emma locked the doors. Because sometimes, a cat's sixth sense wasn't just an instinct. It was a warning. And Emma had learned to listen.